Hey guys, and welcome back to a brand new video. Now today we are going to be talking about the two brand new ARK season passes that you will be able to purchase this year in 2026. Now it is fairly expensive in total if you buy both of them, but you will be getting yourself 3 new Fantastic Tames as part of one. As you can see, we got the announcement in the community crunch. And in the other one, you are getting 2 remastered maps, one being Genesis 1, the other being Genesis 2, and a whole bunch of new content that is literally transforming those DLCs. We have the price for one of these at the moment, and I've got a kind of an idea of what I'm expecting for the new one, but if you guys do enjoy today's video, feel free to drop a like and subscribe, because this is all starting to heat up now. This is the kind of period for ARK where things start getting very busy. As if you've been in the ARK community for a long time, you will know that the start of the year, we do tend to get little bits of content. You know, we had the Astraeus Mega Update, which was a lot of fun, but the later part of the year, summertime into like the, you know, winter periods and whatever, that's when it really starts to get super excited in the world of being an ARK player. Now, if you do enjoy today's video, feel free to drop a like and subscribe, and let's get in with it. Okay, so the first one we're talking about is the one we just recently talked about, which is the Fantastic Tames Season Pass. In the past, this was it wasn't a season pass. This was just like separate creatures that you could pay $4.99 for. And obviously we got our first look at the Burrowbuck, which is the ARK Fantastic Tames Season 1. Now that means to me that seeing down in the corner that it's Season 1, that there's going to be more seasons of these. I don't know whether they're going to do a couple of these a year or if they're only going to do one of these a year. I doubt they're doing more than one because they've got so much planned. But what they did mention about this season pass is they said those patient enough to earn the Burrowbuck's trust will discover there's more to the Burrowbuck than meets the eye. Beneath the ground lies a surprisingly useful network of tunnels, though not every entrance leads to where you might expect. Good luck survivors, around here the lucky rabbit's foot tends to kick back. The Burrowbuck will be available on day 1 as the first release of our upcoming Fantastic Tames Season 1 pack, which will cost you $9.99 at launch, and will also reveal the designs for the 2 remaining creatures, which we will roll out to the pack owners as they are completed throughout 2026. So what this is telling me is that the Burrowbuck is pretty close. Like I think the Aranio TLC Spider's very close, because the dossier has been found in the game already, the updated one, and I think what it looks like is the Burrowbuck will be coming, as they said, day 1 when you purchase the season pack, and then the other 2, I guess, wildcard are going to be working on throughout the rest of 2026. So that is the first season pass that you will be able and will be available for you guys to purchase, which will set you back $10. And now on to the more expensive, for me, way more exciting one. So the next expansion / season pass that you will be able to purchase this year for ARK Survival Ascended, coming very soon, is Bob's True Tales. Now, yes, this is a follow-up from Bob's Tall Tales, which gave us a whole bunch of content back in 2024, and obviously gave us the content for Scorched Earth, it gave us the content for Aberration, and it gave us the content for Extinction. Now, Bob's True Tales is going to only have 2 maps, but they're going to be bigger than ever, and that is Genesis Part 1, which is literally meant to be coming in 2 months' time in June, which is Tides of the Fortune, which is going to give you access to a pirate-inspired DLC, but looking at this, it's just pretty much Atlas 2, yeah, you're pretty much buying Atlas as part of this deal, but in an upgraded Unreal Engine 5 refurbished version. And then in Q2 of 2027, when you purchase this season pass, it will give you automatic access to Bob's True Tales Galaxy Wars, which is Genesis Part 2. So both Genesis Part 1 and Genesis Part 2 maps are going to be coming back, but completely remastered. This will have, Genesis Part 1 will have an entire ocean biome, and Genesis Part 2 Galaxy Wars will have an entire space biome where you can craft fully customizable spaceships, which will be coming with Genesis Part 2, which for me is just mind-blowing. Now you're probably wondering, how much does this DLC cost? Well, when Bob's Tall Tales came out, can you believe it was the 2nd of April 2024, and it costs around about £25, which is around about $30-ish. I don't expect, there's obviously a sale on, an Easter sale on at the moment, where you can actually pick up Bob's Tall Tales for £8 at the moment, which will probably be around about $10, 67% off, and lots of, you can actually get ARK and Bob's Tall Tales at the moment for £14, which is pretty crazy, down from 50. But I don't expect this price to be any different for Bob's True Tales. I'm expecting it to be around about $30, so it's not going to be a cheap one, as expected. Oh, there you go. We got the Wasteland War, because as you remember, Wasteland War was released, and they had, where is it? Have they got, oh yeah, there is Steampunk Ascent, which was the Aberration, and we have the Frontier Showdown, which added a whole bunch of stuff. And you think this DLC, Bob's Tall Tales, actually became a major standpoint in the game of ARK, because still to this day, like, everyone seriously uses all of this stuff a lot, especially, you know, the Oasisaur, which I call it the laggiest creature on Earth. It's like, it's just crazy, but you always see people flying around on, and using everything within the Bob's Tall Tales Steampunk Ascent and the Survivor Mate, you know, the Cosmo, everything like that. And then obviously the new cars that got added within Wasteland War. It was basically like having a brand new DLC. I know that's what it is, but it was like having everything new. So if you were to ask me a question, Dom, when I purchased Bob's True Tales, or Bob's Tall Tales, this gets so confusing when you're recording. Was it worth it when I purchased Bob's Tall Tales? Yes, it has mixed reviews, and I think that's just because it's kind of been a bit of a trendy thing to do, and I understand that a lot of people these days do get frustrated with Wildcard trying to milk as much as they can out of the game. But I personally thought the content that I got, this is my opinion, it doesn't need to be your opinion, but I really, really thought I've got way enough content. I mean, it's been years since now, you know, it's been nearly 2 years since Bob's Tall Tales released, and I still use it constantly, and the stuff in the DLC, for me, is worth it. So when Bob's True Tales comes out, of course I'll be doing some giveaways over in the LoadedCrysis cluster, so if you're not with us over there and you want to be in with a shot of winning one of these, it saves you $30, come and join us for our free service. The link to our Discord is down below, but I will be purchasing it straight away, because not only that, I want to get myself a pirate ship. And obviously this was the first look we actually got at the Tides of the Fortune DLC. This was a prototype. This was like the boats being used in this photo, they said, is all being via the Atlas game. So yeah, you are pretty much, like I said, buying Atlas. They said, here's the first glimpse of the upcoming ocean systems currently being tested inside the Genesis Part 1 biome. While the ship and assets here are temporarily borrowed from Atlas for early functional testing, the final release will feature brand new ships built specifically for ARK Survival Ascended. The real focus of this test, however, is the new water physics system built from the ground up for Genesis Part 1. Waves, we read through this already, right? But they were just saying where they want real water physics to and across a map-wide ocean biome, and there's going to be fortresses to discover, semi-procedural islands, huge naval battles across the high seas, and they want to make it so it's not just going to be floating along the seas like any other ARK map. They want to make it a true experience sailing the waves, and it's really, really exciting. And you're also going to be able to bump into this guy, which if it's tameable you might want to bump into it, but if it's not, which I think it will be, you've got the Kraken. The Paleo Octopus will be lurking the oceans of Genesis Part 1. Somewhere under here, it will be hunting you down, which is kind of scary, so make sure that your ships are fully ready and prepared. So, yeah, I mean, it's going to be a really interesting year for ARK. You know, this product roadmap, we've got so much to come, and obviously, yeah, people are a little bit gutted at the moment. I think this is sometimes, I'm not saying this is always where it's Studio Wildcard's fault. I think sometimes this is comes down to the Snail Games decisions. But what they do a lot is they talk about product roadmaps, and they talk about what's coming out for the game, right? and then we don't hear on anything. Like Survival of the Fittest is meant to be Q1 2026. That's already passed now, and we've not heard a single word on it. Studio Sirens, Studio Wildcard, Snail Games, completely quiet on it. That is why people get frustrated when they see new things like, hey, here's another $10 Fantastic Tames Season Pass. I don't think people would be too bothered if they knew what was going on with the things they're promised at the start. Because at the end of the day, if you're going to promise something to someone that's free, like, you know, some of the upcoming content, they've got Unreal Engine 5.7. It's now April. We haven't had any information on this yet. We're still waiting for that to come in the crunch. But if you're waiting for all of that, and then the next thing you hear about is a expansion pass you got to pay money for, of course the community's not going to be happy. And I do think sometimes Wildcard, I think it comes down to Snail being like, hey, we're doing this now and this needs to be announced here, and then Wildcard just have to go out their way and do it. But it's just always the worst timing ever, because it's either when ARK's really broken, and then ARK was really broken, and then they announced like the Power Rangers pack or something like that, and it was like the worst time ever. And I don't think this was necessarily the worst time ever. Astraeos is really broken at the moment. But it's like when people are kind of, hey, where's Survival of the Fittest? Where's Unreal Engine 5.7? You know, these updates they're all seriously excited for. And then we get a community crunch everyone's been waiting for, and it's a Fantastic Tames paid pass. You can see why the community get frustrated, and it just doesn't do the devs any favors. So I don't know whether this is Snail. I think it is when it comes to product and decisions and everything like that. But anyway, so I just wanted to give you guys a bit of a summary of what to expect season pass wise, and where you might potentially need to be spending your money when it comes to the world of ARK. Let me know your thoughts on this in the comment section down below, and I'll catch you in the next one.